Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma.
Woo.
I know you guys are all going crazy. Let me pump the brakes on this. It's the Big 12. Slow down a little bit. Can't do that at the SEC. Can't do that against LSU.
I mean, apparently you can't ask Georgia State and Wyoming and Memphis. They all are 1-0 against the SEC this week. But, I mean, to some degree, you're right. But what we saw on Sunday night from Lincoln Riley, Jalen was great. I mean, we can fawn over Jalen and in particular his mentality. I thought the interview after the game was fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
It shows you that this is not about just putting up numbers against Houston for him. He doesn't really care what his numbers are against Houston. He cares about getting to a playoff so he can play Nick Saban in Alabama. That's the reason he's at Oklahoma, and then I think all of us can't wait for that to potentially happen. Right.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Lincoln Riley. This guy, I don't want to go way overboard, but I was going back. So I started yesterday and Monday. I was just going back through college football, and really even some degree the NFL during my lifetime. Okay, so things that I've seen with my own eyes. I think he's the best offensive mind I've seen. I was trying to go back. I was trying to think of Spurrier and all these. He's doing things that are just next level. With schematics, with matchups, with game plans, with putting people in the right position to succeed. This guy is a master, man. I tell you what.
3 straight transfers. Listen, I bailed on Jalen Hurts. I didn't want him to throw the football. Baker's a 2-time walk-on. Kyler Murray was going to play baseball. He's made all of them instantly fantastic.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts is going to end up getting drafted.
I think so. If he continues to play like this, I think you're exactly right.
He's too good of an athlete. He's running around. By the way, so athletically, yes. Then you listen to him after games. What coach doesn't fall in love with that?
Exactly.
So the question is, can he throw? Well, all these Oklahoma guys, Lincoln Riley gets them for 45 minutes, and they can all look like Johnny Unitas.
And a lot of that is the scheme that they use. He makes it's difficult enough. So it's interesting. How do I say this? It's complicated enough for the defense to look at that they don't know what's going on, and yet it's simple enough for the quarterback to work through to play fast. And this is the thing is that he got Jalen ready to play much faster than he got Kyler or Baker ready to play. Remember, Baker and Kyler were both in the program for a while before they played.
No, Hurts, listen, there was a year ago. I didn't want Jalen throwing the ball. He was a liability throwing the football.
Nick Saban thought he couldn't win a national championship with Jalen Hurts on the field. That's why he put 2 in the game. Think about that. And then that's the guy that comes out there, and I understand it's against Houston, but he threw the ball really well, really well. And I think this is going to be another offense that is going to be maybe not record-setting, but it's also something that he's doing. He didn't run Baker and Kyler. Right? I mean, it was the run game for Oklahoma, but he didn't run those quarterbacks. He did something down in the red zone. I think we've got it. He runs this play. So this is kind of bread and butter Oklahoma. First of all, they run this counter play, right, where they're going to pull their right guard and right tackle around, and they're going to give it to that running back. And then what they do off of that is they run a little bubble screen to the right. Okay, so this is an RPO. Okay, so you're going to pull right guard, right tackle. Here it is. They come around. If the defensive end screams down, you can give it to the running back, or you can throw that bubble out to the right. And then he puts this third option, which is the quarterback counter back into the counter blocking scheme.
So
when I saw that, my mind was blown.
So it's
a design.
That's
incredible.
It's a design play.
That's right.
So it goes back. Everybody thought Robin Williams, the late comedian, was ad-libbing. No, he wasn't. Robin Williams made you think he was ad-libbing.
That's right.
Robin Williams knew where every comedy set would start, middle, and end. The brilliance to the great talk show hosts are, you think it's ad-libbed.
That's right.
This looks like an ad lib. It's a design play.
It's a design play, even to the point where he takes one full step. It's like, commit to the right side before you stick your foot in the ground and get back to the left. Right. And he forces defensive players to make a decision. I tell you, it's brilliant stuff. I think Lincoln Riley is one of the best coaches, offensive coaches I've ever seen.
No, I don't disagree. I think I said it yesterday. I've never seen this stuff. Okay, Notre Dame. Listen, academically tough, middle of nowhere, private school. Religious overtones. He won 13 last year. Lost by less to Clemson than Bama. I'm watching him the other night. A lot of college football coaches, they can recruit. They're verbal. They own the room. They know a position. They don't adjust well. Brian Kelly's team was dog food in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Was unbelievable in the second half.
Yes.
This guy can flat coach.
Yes.
I would say almost, I watched USC didn't adjust. Florida State didn't adjust. Oregon didn't adjust. Tennessee didn't adjust. Notre Dame's defense was completely different with the same kids 1 hour later.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was concerning what they were putting on.
At first quarter, it was a mess.
They didn't tackle well. They were giving up. I mean, up for the game, you look at the statistics, I think they gave up 240-plus yards rushing, 5.3 per carry. But it felt different once they started playing well. The adjustments. Think of it this way. Let me point to a team that couldn't adjust last year, and it kept them out of their championship game and the playoff. Michigan.
Yep.
Michigan could not adjust last year. When Ohio State started running those crossing routes and Michigan was just in man coverage, guess what? Michigan had no secondary pitch, and it cost them. They gave up 62 points in that game.
Why don't guys like you tell everybody how great Brian Kelly is?
Aren't we just doing that right now?
No, I mean, I started the conversation. I think there should be more of that.
Are you taking credit for this? I think Brian Kelly's an excellent coach. I think he would be on the list. If you were to create a list of 5 coaches that have not won a national championship that are the best coaches in the sport, he would absolutely be on
Chris Peterson and him are my top 2.
Lincoln Riley would be my top.
Okay, you're right. He's third. He had 3 of them.
And then Brian Kelly would be right there.
Well, even there, you sound like you're barely giving him credit.
No, I said he'd be right there. He'd be number 2 behind Lincoln Riley. What do you mean I'm not giving him credit?
It sounded like you qualified a bunch of stuff.
I don't think I qualified it at all. Are you listening?
I'm listening. Look at the size of my ears.
They are big.
Nothing gets past these mud flaps.
That's true.
Okay, so give me your. I got something else here. Let's not go crazy on this. The SEC had a couple of small bumps.
Yep.
Still,
I referenced them a little. Yeah, you're right.
Still the best conference. We had not.
Well, hold on. It depends, right? If you're trying to drive the narrative that the SEC is a gauntlet, that 8-game conference schedule, I would say that's not the case.
I agree.
Okay. If you're trying to say they're the best at the top,
yes,
then I agree.
That's what I believe.
I think those are 2 different conversations.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, yeah, you do have Wyoming beating Missouri, and you've got Memphis beating Ole Miss. You've got Georgia State beating Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, to some degree, that's hilarious, right? Just because it's Tennessee. You had Arkansas only winning by 7 over Portland State. So
is that true?
What? Arkansas?
Is that true?
Only won by 7 over Portland State?
I didn't hear about that one.
Oh, yeah. 20-13.
Oh, holy hell. SEC stinks. That's terrible.
Well, I mean, listen, it's not a gauntlet, right? So you can't tell me we don't have to play 9 conference games because look at the strength of our league. That's false. What is not false, though, is the fact that this week they have a chance to do something pretty remarkable, Colin. Think about this just for the perspective of college football playoff and the perception of conferences. They already beat Miami. Florida beat Miami. Now they've beaten Oregon. Auburn beat Oregon. If LSU beats Texas,
sure, then
that's 3 teams, Miami, Oregon, and Texas, that would likely be in their conference championship games in those conferences, the ACC, the Pac-12, and the Big 12.
Yeah.
And Florida, Auburn, and LSU likely won't be in the SEC championship game. That's probably going to be Alabama and Georgia. So if you see LSU beat Texas this week, I think we are way down the road going to see 2 teams from the SEC go to the playoff.
All right, give me your top 5 right now. Joel Klatt's top 5. Put that up there for the kids to see.
Okay, I've got Clemson number 1, Bama number 2. I've got Georgia 3, Oklahoma 4, and then I've actually got Michigan at number 5.
I thought Ohio State looked pretty good.
I was concerned with Ohio State actually being in the booth. I was concerned because the big plays were clearly missed assignments from FAU, clearly missed assignments, wide open wide receivers. And after that, they had an inability to throw the ball from the pocket, which I thought was concerning, in particular with the skill that they have at wide receiver. So Justin Fields has got to get better from throwing the ball from the pocket. He's fine outside of the pocket. And then once Lane Kiffin realized that they were running zone coverage and not man coverage, the tight end Harrison Bryant from FAU really ate him up.
Yeah.
So from the 8-minute mark of the first quarter on, FAU actually outscored Ohio State 21-17 for 3.5 quarters. That's concerning to me.
All
so,
right.
Listen, I loved the 28-0 start. Fields looked really good early, but there was a lot of things that made me sit back in my chair Saturday night after watching that game, think to myself, okay, they've got a lot of room for improvement.
All right, one more thing here. I don't even know if I want to do this because a lot of you do a lot of these near upset nonsense, and none of them are really upsets. Last year, what'd you have us last week? Auburn, Oregon, or some nonsense.
I did. I thought.
By the way, I nailed that one. I did. I picked Auburn.
You also stole Northwestern. How'd that work out for you?
It's not stealing. It's
stole
research.
You stole it.
Stealing is if I take
All right, this week. I've got one heart pick.
Okay, I'm not going to give you
pick.
two because one of them's nonsense. Just do the one where you went to school and let the kids see what nonsense is.
Colorado's beating Nebraska.
That's not an upset.
Yes, it is. They're not favored in the game.
They're a dog.
What are we talking about? If an underdog wins the game, what is it called? Altogether, an upset.
It's in Boulder. Secondhand pot smoke. Nebraska will be stoned by the second quarter. That's not an upset.
So should we call these extreme upsets?
Let's see,
what do you want?
Dramatic upset
Thank
of
you,
the week?
Joy. What, are we qualifying
That's
these?
like saying if Gottlieb's late for the show, it's an upset. He's late every time he comes on.
If it's an almost upset, maybe it's like Texas A&M plays Clemson close but doesn't
I'm not giving
win.
you a second one. From now on, new rules. 20-point spread or nothing.
I've got. What do you want? Winners or a covering?
All right. Joe Klatt, ladies and gentlemen.
If you're a dog and you win, it's an upset. It's an upset.
At Colorado, field goal game. I'll take Colorado to win the game. By the way, they were one of the only teams in the country last week. No penalties, no turnovers. They looked great.
52 points.
They did. They looked great last week. Mel Tucker, incredibly easy guy to root for. Don't want to get into it.
That's true.
He is.
That's true.
Easiest guy at the Pac-12 dinner I went to, the easiest guy to root for.
Just remember, the N for Nebraska stands for knowledge.
What?
It's just an old Colorado joke. Let me step into the rivalry for 1 minute.
Yeah. When you're about 9 feet into that third bong, those are funny jokes. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.